Hello, here I am back for a second time today to share with you the second deck that arrived in today's post. This is the Healing Light Tarot by Christopher Butler. It comes in a sturdy two-part box and is decorated with images from the deck. Now, the deck itself, it has a strange beauty about it. First of all, the card stock, the card quality, it's lovely and strong. It's quite sturdy. I think it would be nice for riffle shuffling. I haven't shuffled them yet or mixed them up because I wanted them in order for this walkthrough. That's the back of them. It's a lovely design. I do like the backs. And like I say, the card stock is nice. Okay, it's nice and flexible, yet strong. So let's see what this deck is all about. As I say, it's created by Christopher Butler, and I'm going to read a little bit of blurb about the deck now. So the Healing Light Tarot draws inspiration from an ancient Celtic concept. It relates to the periods of dusk and dawn, where the veil between this world and the spiritual realm is at its thinnest. This is a time for visions, realizations, and above all, healing. The other main motive in this deck is the mandorla, the oval-shaped portal created when two circles overlap and a symbol of the divine feminine. The mandorla is a healing gateway, so I've placed one on each card. Where it opens, healing and wholeness can be found. This deck consists of 22 major arcana and 56 minor arcana. The majors represent spiritual archetypes and the unseen divine powers guiding our lives. The minors are divided into 4 suits that represent the 4 elements. Pentacles are the suits of earth and the body. Swords represent air and the mind. Wands symbolise fire and creativity, whilst finally cups embody water and the heart, which I would imagine is emotion. It then goes into, so we have the table of contents in here just tells you which languages it's in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 languages. So we have a small introduction there, and then we go straight into the information on the majors. I've marked these up here so that I can just flick to each suit should we want to question or read why a particular image has been used for whatever in here. And at the back of it we have our spreads. So we have a 3-card spread, which is the challenge. It's the challenge, obstacles to overcome, and the solution. Another 3-part spread, which is the relationship mandorla, the sphere of yourself, the sphere of your partner, and the portal of healing is 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. And then the cross, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the present situation, goals to aim for, at the root of things, the recent past, and the outcome. So that's our little book, and it seems informative enough. Okay, now I have looked through these. I haven't shuffled them because I wanted them in order for this walkthrough. What I like about them, the images here are very much silhouette-like, which does make them feel more as though they are sort of spirit, as opposed to having human personalities. Because each card will probably, as you're reading for a querent, you will be led more as though the Fool, that's your querent. And you won't have a preconceived idea or image or personality type from an image that's already put there. So it's like everything is in silhouette format, and it's quite cleverly done. So let's have a look. The Fool, the Magician. Now, this Magician doesn't really stand in the usual stance of the Magician. However, although he has all the tools that he requires, it's almost like he's splitting himself in two, but we sort of have the as above so below in the form of the lightning coming from the air, coming from the sky and hitting the ground. and then it's almost like he's juggling all the tools of the trade, so to speak. The High Priestess. That very much feels like it's all about the psyche and all about being able to listen to your intuition and be led by your intuition. It's a really quite a deep card, to be quite honest with you. The Empress. The Emperor. That actually reminds me of sort of Roman emperors and gladiators type of thing. The Hierophant, pretty much traditional outline of the Hierophant there. The Lovers. Chariot. Strength. I do like this Strength card. The Hermit. Again, one of my favourites. The Wheel of Fortune I find very different, and I might actually look up how this came about. We'll have a look. We'll refer to the book for that one in a minute. Put it to one side. Justice. And those cogs, sort of like the wheels of justice, are in motion. You know, those cogs are turning the wheels of justice. The Hanged Man. Death. Temperance. The Devil. Now, this is one that I've only actually seen any form of face, and that's in the body of the person here. The Devil is seen as a silhouette in the foreground, in the background sort of, and in the foreground you have a man, and you can see a number of faces within the body. There's a face where the head should be, sort of at an angle, and a face in the body, and it's almost like this person's being driven insane, and by whatever has him sort of bound, you know, it's something has him in its grips, and it's driving him nuts by the looks of it. The Tower. The Star. The Moon, and again we have a face in the moon. The Sun. Judgment. And the World. So those are the majors. So before we move on to the minors, let's have a quick look at the the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So if we look at this card, and you will see there are dancers on it, people dancing around the wheels in silhouette. So let's see. As the wheel spins, dancers leap around its rim, rising and falling while the moon waxes and wanes through its complete cycle. Doctrines of chance and methods of calculating probabilities can be seen in ghostly letters and at its centre. A single droplet of water contained in a mandala causes ripples as it splashes onto a still pool. While many changes are cyclical and some can be calculated, others are purely random, and the wheel can be seen to turn in erratic directions. This is the archetype of change. What rises must eventually fall as the wheel turns, but unseen forces can often influence its movement. All things have their time in the circle of life, which repeats itself with predictable force. That said, tiny events can grow to change the course of history, disrupting the cycle. Okay. So now we're going to look at the minors. And first up we have Pentacles. And this was for the element of earth, and so we have that greeny sort of hue coming off it. That's a lot of yellow, but you can see the green in the centre there. Don't you see the crown? There you go. So that's the ace. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see the Kabbalah tree of life in the way the pentacles are here and joined up by all the branches of the Kabbalah tree of life. Page, Knight, our Queen of Pentacles, and our King of Pentacles. Then we have our swords, and swords with the element of air. There we go. The Two of Swords. Now you know we usually see the Two of Swords are crossed and the person's blindfolded. This one is quite different. It has the Two of Swords there, but look where the discs are. It almost reminds me of years ago how coins used to be put on the eyes of a dead man, you know, the dead person, to pay the ferryman. So it's really quite, in a way, it has a little bit of an eeriness about it. And I think there's a lot that could be read from that. Here we have our 3. 4, again we have our sort of knight lying and taking a rest, or it's like a sarcophagus type thing. Here we have 2 people. It's almost like husband and wife. You know, is that taking a break from a relationship? Is it taking a break from, I don't know, you know. Here's our 5. 6, I like that. It reminds me of dreams. Don't ask me why, it just reminds me of a dreamlike world. 7. The 8 is quite beautiful. 9. 10. Page. Knight, Queen, and our King of Swords. So that is the suit of swords. Now we're going to have a look at wands, and wands were our element of fire, and that's our creativity as well. So here we go, the Ace of Wands. Excuse me, I'm just going to change my position. My back's hurting me a little bit. So Ace of Wands, 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands. This is a lovely 3 of Wands because the wands are almost like shining beacons of light. They're lovely, aren't they? It looks beautiful. 4 of Wands. Oh, 5 of Wands. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, our Queen of Wands, she's on the box, Very sort of scorpion-like, isn't she, really? And our King of Wands. And finally, we have our Suit of Cups. Ace. Our Two of Cups. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. The face and the moon there. 9. 10. Our Page of Cups. Knight. Our Queen of Cups. And finally our King of Cups. So let's have a look and see what they're like to shuffle. So this is our Healing Light Tarot. It's quite a chunky deck, you know. Look at that, it is quite a nice chunky deck. Let's see, it's a standard tarot card. I think it's a standard tarot card size. Anyway, yes, low screwy, but it would be a standard tarot card size or so. Let's have a look. Maybe a tiny bit wider, a tiny bit wider, at the same height. Tiny little bit wider. See that? Yeah, it's quite chunky. Let's see if it's a riffler. Ooh, not the easiest to bend. And you've got the hole up there, they're a little tight to bend. Let's try again. Yeah. Not too bad. Got to have strong hands. My hands aren't as strong as they used to be. So yes, it's actually quite a nice deck. I like the colour. I like the way the light has been used to create our silhouettes, okay, and how they shine up. I'm quite taken by some of these photographs and some of these images, and I'm going to have a read and see what exactly the creator is saying in some of them. For instance, that devil, we looked at the Wheel of Fortune, and you know, that was very interesting. And that moon's very interesting too. And why has he used the Kabbalah Tree of Life there? I'm finding that a lot of creators, not a lot, but there are a number more creators now that are inserting the Kabbalah Tree of Life, or a lot of sort of Kabbalistic elements in the tarot. That light went funny on there then. So let's have a quick look. Let's see what we can see. So look at the moon and the devil. So the devil. So if you recall, I said the face is inside, in around that body, sort of scream, sort of madness, like let me out type thing. So this is the archetype of fear, denial, entrapment and isolation. The power of our inner demons is often far less than we think. But when we turn our back on them, we lose sight of their size and true appearance. In this image, we see a tortured man. Behind him, the devil presides over two demons, blasting their trumpets in his ears. The man screams and covers his ears, attempting to block out the noise. These demons are our fears and weaknesses, and the noise of the trumpets is far worse than the creatures themselves. This is the only card to show a disconnection mandala where the man stands between the two isolated spheres. Only when he faces his fears can the two spheres be reconnected. To do this, he must turn around, face the devil, and banish the demons that only have power because he fears them. Fears faced will only hurt for one last time. Wow. And then we have the moon. And what does it say here? The moon. Okay, the full moon rises between two towers on the far side of the lake. There we go. On the near shore, two dogs howl at the rising moon whilst a sinister-looking crayfish calls from the depths, approaching the furthest shore. The towers are sentinels of a secret pathway shown by the rising mandala between them. The crayfish must journey between the towers and through the mandala as it follows the light of the moon. This is the archetype of the unconsciousness that lies beneath the surface, and all that we fear to acknowledge in ourselves. The moon exerts a powerful influence on the animal kingdom, including us. The crayfish symbolises our unconscious fears being brought to light. As they surface, we acknowledge them, and its journey through the mandala represents our acceptance of these aspects into our conscious being and represents healing through integration. Okay, and then finally I've got the Ten of Pentacles here. So let's have a look what it says of Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so you can see that. This card shows 3 generations of a successful family as they watch the sun rise over their lavish estate. The pentacles are arranged in the spheres as on the Kabbalistic tree of life, and the mandala surrounds the lowest sphere. This is Malkut, the sphere of kingdom on earth. The tree is a representation of how energy channels downwards from the divine realm to the material world, so the mandala denotes healing through the manifestation of divine power. The tree also denotes connectedness, and we see this reflected in the family. This is established wealth used wisely to create prosperity for family and friends. The joy here lies in in that wealth being shared, and if used wisely, it will create prosperity for generations to come. In a reading, this denotes a state of lasting fulfillment and prosperity built on firm foundations. So there we go. So that's quite interesting, really. Quite interesting indeed. So, folks, Healing Light Tarot by Christopher Butler. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough. I've enjoyed creating it for you. Take care. Enjoy what's left of the Easter break, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.